Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. This week's parasha, Re'eh, to see, has a very interesting verse which says, Ahare Havaya Elohehem Telehu, which means that there's a commandment to walk in the path of God, who is testing man and giving him challenges. So this is a very mind-boggling verse. It's telling you to walk in the path of Hashem, but He's gonna test you and send you challenges. What does it mean? Like someone hits you with a bat and you have to follow that person. When someone mistreats you, you have to be a friend to that person. What is this verse asking from us? If so many people suffer so much in this world, there's so much suffering, and there's people who are sick and people who are crying because they can't have kids, and there's people who are crying because they lost a child. There's so many reasons, so much suffering. And what is this commandment? It's a commandment. It's telling us to walk in God's ways, even if He's testing us and giving us challenges. So there's a mamar from the Alter Rebbe who discusses this subject at length, and he says that there's a purpose for a nisayon, there's a purpose for a test. God doesn't send us the suffering for no reason. He's not doing something to us, He's doing it for us, so we can have benefit from it. So let's understand what this verse means. The verse states, Ahare Havaya Elohehem Telehu. And it states that there's 6 levels of the service of God that one is to follow. So there's 6 levels that we have to follow in the service of Hashem. Telehu means that we should walk in the path of God. Tira'u means that we should fear Hashem. Tishmiru means that we should guard His commandments. Ubekolot tishma'u, we should listen to His words. And ve'osot tabodu means we should serve Him. And the last one it says, Ubo sidbikum, to Him you should attach. So we should not only walk in His path, we should not only fear God, guard His commandments, listen to His words, serve Him, but we also have to attach to God. We have to hold tight for dear life to Him. This is what it's telling us. And it says that the previous verse stated, Hashem is testing you to know. And what does it mean that He's testing us to know? What is He trying to let us know? And so the Alter Rebbe explains that the soul, before he's invested in a body, before he comes into the world, he is positioned in a place in the upper realms where he is basking in the glory of Hashem, and he has the revelation of God. He understands everything. And then he descends into this world, and there's a simsun, a contraction, in which Hashem contracts Himself in such a way that when a soul arrives to this lower world, which is called the world of Asiya, the world of action, it's a very, very dense and dark place where we cannot see the presence of God. God is hiding in the world, and we have to look for Him. We have to, it's like a peekaboo game. Peekaboo, I see you. It's hide and seek. So every time we do a mitzvah, every time we do something that is according to Hashem, to the Torah, we are revealing Hashem in this world. So the concealment of God means that we're distant from His light. We're distant from Him. We're distant from understanding Him. And the main purpose of this great distance and descent is to face challenges, to come into this world and face challenges that derive from the concealments and removal of the conscious godly energy found in the creation. So it's like that game, Chutes and Ladders. You remember when you played as a child, that you would go up the ladder and then you would come here and suddenly there was a slide and you would just slide down again, and then when you try to get up again and you would go higher and then you would slide again. It's something like that. So we see here that that the challenges that Hashem sends to a person's health or to livelihood, or there's very big challenges in life that really people suffer a lot from them. They conceal God. People ask themselves, where is God? I don't see him. Why is he doing this to me? And these challenges, really, this concealment of the divine hand, prevent one from both within and without from serving God and coming closer to him. Like a person that has suffered would very easily say, you know what, why should I follow a God that makes me suffer? I prefer to go the other way. Look, other people don't live with Torah, they don't live with mitzvot, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they have a fine life, they have no issues. They're happy, they're doing whatever they want. And this can lead us to go on that direction. And also we could see that the challenge has really no purpose whatsoever. It's just, this is a world of suffering. But then we see more benefit and power and pleasure involved in the people that go the other way. We see that they have more pleasure from the world, from the material world, and then it would be very easy to be challenged in this way and just leave everything and go the other way. So the test of the soul is to see whether it will follow God despite all these setbacks. That's the challenge of the soul. Everybody that comes into this world has challenges. It doesn't exist that a person goes through life with nothing going around him. Everybody suffers from something. Everybody has to deal with something in their lives, or many things in their lives. There's no such thing as a life free of challenges. Like all these people that you see in Instagram, in Facebook, that their lives look so precious, so perfect, they'll look perfect. It does not exist. It's fake news. It's not real. So the reality is that all these challenges that Hashem sent us is so we can choose to be connected to him. It's to choose, to give us free will. And in reality, a person needs an extra strength to be able to hold on to Hashem for dear life. So the reason that God sends these challenges is in order for man to overcome them and then come to a higher level of da'as, which is of knowledge of God. So it says that there's a verse that states that Hashem tests us la'das hayeshem ohavim. What is this level of da'as? It is a level of understanding and an internal bond and connection with Hashem in a way that God is vividly experienced like any other matter of the physical world. Like you experience God in your pain, like if he's part of the world, and one will feel Hashem in the way that he feels his own existence and the vitality of his own soul. So you're gonna become so connected to God through that challenge that you feel like you are a part of Hashem. You're gonna feel the reality of your existence. So it is not simply because he desires to know if we're gonna pass the test or not. That's very low thinking. Like Hashem is not gonna send us a test to see if we're gonna pass or not. It's not like the teacher in school. This is not Hashem. He knows before he sends the test if you're gonna pass or not. He sends it for two reasons. One is to show you where you are. When he sends you a test and you see your behavior in that challenge, then you're able to understand in your spiritual life where you're standing. If you have to grow, if you have to learn more, if you have to become better, it's to show you where you are. And the other reason that he sends us this test is so he can give us a reward. This is the only way he can reward us, really, is when we're facing a challenge and we stick our face and we do the godly thing, and then Hashem gives us a reward. So this is the real reason why he gives us these challenges, is so he can reward us tremendously. In the Mishnah that I taught this week in Pirkei Avot, it also talks, Rabbi Akiva, about suffering, and it says that also we suffer because there's a debt that we have. Sometimes there's things that we have to clean inside of us that are not right, like when we do Lashon Hara, or we're not giving the right tzedakah, we're not honoring our parents, or anything that we did that is not a righteous thing. Hashem sends us suffering to give us the opportunity to be able to clean up our slate. But here the Alter Rebbe is giving us the reward, the explanation that the challenge is so that man receives a reward for his good actions and not simply for good intentions of the heart. And so God challenges man in order for him to receive a reward for his actual choice. Like if you're going through a very hard time and nevertheless you choose to keep God's ways, then he is going to reward you, because despite your suffering, despite the challenge, you're choosing to be connected to God. And this da'as, la da'as, is going to take you to a much higher level of understanding and knowledge of God. So it says here that the godliness that is hidden within these challenges that conceal God is in truth rooted in a level of godliness that is much higher than the standard levels of holiness. So in every challenge, in every pain, in every suffering, there is a huge amount of godliness that is hiding there, that is concealed. And it's up to us to reveal that part of God in the world through our behavior, through our actions. And he gives us an explanation of a wall that has fallen down. The bricks that were higher are the ones that are going to fall farther away. So also a person, the higher he is, he can fall the lowest. And when a person is very low, he must understand that he comes from a very high place. And that if he comes from a very high place, he can always get up and also rise even higher. So he gives us a parable from a nut. The godliness contained within our challenges is similar to a nut in its shell. Like if you look at a walnut in its shell and you don't know it's a walnut, you would think, oh, you know what, this is such a strange thing. I don't know what this is. You wouldn't even think there's a fruit inside that you can eat. But when you open up the shell, when you take out the shell, you crack it, and you bring out the fruit, you realize that there's something very precious contained inside this shell. So the same thing, the challenge is the shell, and the reward is inside of that shell. So the Mamar finishes off explaining also that it's like a father hiding from his son. A challenge in the service of God is similar to a father that is hiding from his son, and he does this so that the son will search for him. So God is also hiding so we can look for him. He wants us to look for him. This will reveal the wisdom of the child who knows the true purpose of the hiding of his father, and not because the father truly desires to hide. So when we feel far away from Hashem, we have to understand that the only reason we feel far away from him is because we have to look for him. I remember many years ago we had a very big loss in our family, and I went to a bioenergetic doctor, and she asked me, and I'm telling you this is 24 years ago, Margie, where is God? And I couldn't answer her. I didn't know where he was. I was in so much pain. And she said, but tell me, where do you think God is? And I couldn't answer her. She said, is he in your heart? Is he in your tummy? Is he in the room? Where is he? I could not answer her. I said, I have no idea where is God. And that took me in a search for God. I remember it propelled me. Like, how can it be? I don't know where God is. And this is where I am today because I was searching for him. And thank God I was able to get close. But that's the whole purpose of it. Hashem wants us close to him. He's a father. He wants his children with him. But the child has to really want to be close to the father. So at the end of the mimer, the Rebbe is telling us that we should not feel resentment towards God when we're faced with trials and tribulations. If we feel that the challenge is only because God is trying to see if we will do the right thing and be loyal to him, obviously we will always be angry at God, because why does he have to put me to suffer to just prove himself that I'm close to him? This is so unfair. It's so egocentric, really, if we look at it from that perspective. But the Alter Rebbe comes to explain it, and he says that Hashem doesn't want to do this to us. He doesn't want to prove anything to himself. He doesn't need to prove anything to himself. He just wants us to know that however we view the challenge, it really is a message from God that he wants to be close to us. That's the whole reason he does the challenge. It's not to prove himself. It's not to show the world that we cannot do the challenge. It's just to make us feel, where are you, Father? Where are you? I want to look for you. It's only to wake that part of us up. It's for us to want to be close to God. So here we see that the entire purpose is for us to reveal that we truly love Him. And there's so many thunder here. Wow. Entire purpose is for us to reveal that we truly love Him and dedicate to Him. A challenge is God's way of asking of us for emotional attention, similar to a father awaiting the loving embrace of his son, and or of a wife looking for the reassurance of her partner in love. So the reality is that Hashem wants us to look for Him. That's it. This Parasha Re'eh is going to be read in Shul on Saturday. It's going to be Rosh Chodesh Elul. It's the month before the high holidays, in which the king is in the field. God is going to be so accessible to us. And that's why we read this parasha this week. It's a reminder that we really need to get connected to Him, that He's waiting for us. That's the truth. He's there. We just have to want to be with Him. So I wish you a good week, and remember, live a little higher. Thank you.